Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Mike. You might know me as DG Online or Dad Gaming Online, I guess, depending on how you found this video. I typically stream on Twitch, and I'm trying to make some videos for my YouTube. I found a video randomly on YouTube called "You Should Be a YouTuber" or artist/creator. By a YouTuber named Neat on the Rocks, and they've got a really good following, and I was checking out some of their other videos, but this one specifically had just randomly popped up into my YouTube feed, and I kind of took that as like a sign, right? Because I've been kind of ho-humming a little bit about YouTube because it's a bit of a jump to start making these videos and working on editing and doing all that kind of stuff, right? And so anyway, in this video, and I'll link both the video in question as well as directly to Neat on the Rock, so you can subscribe to the channel. Absolutely fantastic stuff on there. But basically, in this video, they talk about their YouTube story, I guess you could say, how he was had a full-time job, was like good on paper, and it didn't make him happy to do it, and so he quit and he started making YouTube videos, and that's what made him happy. And it's a fantastic watch. It's only about, I don't know, like the whole video is 30 minutes long. It's not a lot of time, but the entire video is shot with him playing Sonic, and then just talking over top of it, and that's just so cool. And he talks in the video about like the realistic content. People want genuine content. People don't want the over-the-top kind of really high budget fake. You know, he doesn't say fake, but the Mr. Beast's videos type of thing, right? It's starting to shift over to genuine content. It's starting to shift back to, and he says this in the video, what YouTube was made for. YouTube, that's the name of the website, right? Genuine content. You make the video, you post it up on there, and people watch it, they comment, they do their thing, right? And I don't know, I just thought that was cool. I'm also just realizing I didn't turn my lights on. I have this thing where I forget to do stuff. I'm leaving that in. This is actually the second time I tried to recreate this video, because the first time I forgot to turn off the microphone on my stupid camera, and it had this really awful echo on it. And so you're getting this one. That's just how it is. So we're gonna work through it. Anyway, I thought the video was really good, and the video inspired me to create this video, which is kind of, well, I mean, I'm going to call it what it is. It's kind of ripping off his idea. And for those of you that follow this channel for Dungeons & Dragons content, you know how we work in Dungeons & Dragons is you see something out there, and you take that and you make it your own thing. And I just thought that was really cool. So what I wanted to do, and what it was inspired me to do, was create this video called why do I want to stream, right? Why I'm still streaming in 2024. Because I started streaming like most people did in let me get the game going, right? I started streaming like a lot of people did in 2020 at the height of COVID. Because I found myself at home bored, right? Not bored like ho-hum, I've got nothing to do, but literally like my brain was like, hey, we should do something, and the rest of me was like, no, I don't really want to. And that kind of traces back a little bit further to 2018 when my older brother Jason passed away. Because Jason and I would spend nights. Now watch. See, I had like a fantastic race on the other video, and now watch me just like tank here. Every single night, weekend, day off, Jason and I would play video games. So we'd be on the PC, we'd be on the Switch, right? At the time, before he passed away, we were playing Destiny 2 and Splatoon 2, you know, other games like that. And he typically, I've spoken about this in podcasts that I do with Dookie. He would typically introduce me to a lot of the games because he was the type that had his finger on the pulse, and I'm the type who lets other people tell me like, hey, this is a really good game, you should check this out. And so every single night we would be online in, you know, voice chat, hanging out, playing video games, and just like spending time together. And that was how I spent pretty much every single year from when he moved away from the house for college when I was a kid, through our, you know, growing into adult years, and then towards the end when he passed away. And it's still pretty sad to talk about it. I mean, I've spoken at length about it. There's a video on this channel that I use for promotion of a marathon stream that we do in his honor for Crohn's and Colitis Canada every October and around his birthday, where I kind of tell the whole story about like what happened. So I'm not going to get into that here, but the point that I was trying to make is that because of this kind of point in time, I found myself at 8 p.m., 9 p.m. until like 11 p.m., 12 p.m., sitting at my computer with nothing to do. And it's not that I had nothing to do. I had lots to do. It's just I didn't want to do it, right? What I wanted to do was spend time with people, with my older brother, talking, playing video games. And so anyway, fast forward to 2020. I have at this point in time a 1.5-year-old and a 5-year-old in the house. And so, you know, 2018, 2019, when my older brother passes away, those couple years where I spent kind of working through grief and dealing with that. At the time, I had just an absolute awful boss at work. Like, things weren't good, right? I was sad and lonely and depressed, and I started seeing a therapist about it, and I took some time away from work because of it. And at the end of the day, even with all of those supports, I still didn't have anybody when I came home at that time frame. Not came home, when I jumped online at that time frame to hang out with, right? And so I found myself, like I said, at the computer, ready to play a game, and nobody to play a game with, because like Jason would be the one I'd rely on. And so in 2020, my younger brother starts streaming. And he's like, yeah, check this out. I'm gonna do this stream because I'm at home. I'm bored. I can't go to work. I can't do anything. I'm like, okay, that sounds pretty cool. My best buddy Dookie at the time had been streaming on Twitch for years and creating content on YouTube for years, right? A long time ago, like 2008-ish, 2006 to 2008-ish. We had a website. We were creating video content, oftentimes for Screw Attack. And I often wonder sometimes what would have happened if I stayed creating that video content instead of stopping. And I know why I stopped. I stopped because what I was getting out of it at the time wasn't worth what I was putting into it. And the internet being the internet, anytime that I posted a video, because as most of you know, I'm opinionated. Not in a bad way, but I mean, I stand firm to what I think is good and what I think, and I'll always kind of cap it off with, this is what I think. I think it's good to have opinions and express them and defend them too. But what would happen is I would spend all this time working on a video, which were amateur at best, and posting it, and then just being like completely lit up with negative comments, right? And so I'd go through all that work and all that hell to basically create something that would not do very well, right? And it's not that it wouldn't do very well in terms of like view count and stuff, because that's never really been important to me. Even though it is important, it's never been like my driving factor. What would end up happening though is that people would jump into the comments and just start like obliterating me, right? Like, oh, your video is grainy, your audio sucks, your picture is terrible, your taste in games is awful, right? Like, just there was very little, if any, positive to go around. It was all negative. And so ultimately I made the decision, like, forget this, man. I'm just gonna step away, and I'm not gonna deal with this. And so I kind of hung up my gloves, so to speak, and walked away from the world. And Dookie stuck through. He kept going, and good on him, man. Like, he's got a pretty decent following now too, and a community. So anyway, so younger brother, I'm so rambly, and I apologize. Younger brother creates a Twitch stream, and he's like, hey, I'm gonna do the streaming thing. Ultimately decides, hey, it's not for me. But at that time I was like, okay, well, I wouldn't mind giving it a try. And so I set up my like little kit, my little streaming kit, which is funny because back then I didn't know how to be on the internet, even though I'm around it a lot, right? I was watching a lot of Twitch streams. I was getting an understanding of like how it worked. But until you actually start doing it, I think that you do, even though you watch it, you just don't, it's just like anything else. You just don't realize what goes into it and what's required in order to be successful at it, right? Which I still don't know, by the way. I still don't have a really good understanding of what it takes to be successful on Twitch. So anyway, I'm like, I'm gonna give that a try. And so what ended up happening is I found that time frame, right? That 8 to 12 or that 9 to 11 time frame, when I jumped on Twitch, I would have people jump into the game with me or on the stream or other things. And I found that everything was positive, right? Like, it's not like a video where somebody can post a comment and leave and you never see them again, right? Like, when you're in chat, you're there, and you're still anonymous. Don't get me wrong. There's a fair amount of negativity out there, but I have found, at least with what I have, if people are going to say negative stuff, they typically tend to keep it to themselves. And maybe that changes when you become a little bit more popular on the platforms, but I found that time frame that I once shared with my older brother that I wasn't able to anymore, I found myself wanting to jump on stream so that I could do whatever and chat with you guys. And that's been just incredibly positive, I think, in my life, right? Like, things have turned around in a way that while it's never going to be normal, I've kind of embraced the new normal, right? Like, I've come to terms with the fact that things are different, and that's okay. And that's taken a lot. And I think the other thing is I've always kind of wanted to make a video talking about this, and maybe I'll do it a little bit more in detail, because I don't want to really go down the road of being like, it's okay to be depressed. But it is okay. It's okay to feel those feelings and then move with them. You don't move past them. You move with them. And so anyway, I found with streaming that it's kind of filled that gap for me. And I still have those nights, by the way. I still have those nights where I'll come down here and I'll just kind of stare at the computer instead of doing something. And it's just my brain going like, hey, we should be playing a game with Jason right now. And I don't think that's ever going to go away. And that's okay. It's just different, right? And so wow, I'm really rambling here. The reason why I stream is so that I have somebody to spend time with, right? The community that we've grown over the past 4 years, for me, 4 years, for Dookie, like almost 10 at this point. I don't know if I could ever express my actual proper gratitude, right? Like, I know, like, every now and then I'll throw out a video or throw out maybe a video, but I'll throw out a post in the Discord like, you guys don't realize how much it means to me that you're here hanging out and chatting, even if it's only a couple people in the chat instead of like a billion people. I've always found that my why, my reason for doing this isn't to grow. Like, that's nice. Growing is great. Getting lots of followers and subscribers and people who are going to tune in, that's great. I love it. I'm not going to tell you that I'm not trying to. I'm going to tell you though that it's not my reason for doing it, right? And that's kind of what Neat on the Rocks was saying in his video, right? Like, the days of those YouTube videos that are designed to do nothing more than create views, grow your channel, get more views, grow your channel, get more money. The money-driven videos they're not going away, but they're not as in your face as they used to be. And I think videos that are realistic, that tell a story about a person, that give you something that you can kind of emotionally invest into a little bit, that's where I find myself gravitating towards in YouTube. And maybe this is my calling, right? Maybe the talking to a camera playing a video game is my calling. And while maybe not, it's still been a hell of a ride. And I don't know. I guess I just wanted to put out there that, like, the reason why I'm doing this is for you. It's for me. It is selfish reasons, right? Like I mentioned, it's so that I have something to do and that I don't have to be lonely and sit at my computer by myself for those 3 hours at nighttime when I would have spent playing with my older brother. But it's funny how things find their way into being a little bit different but still the same, right? The fact that I can pretty safely rely on somebody being in my Twitch chat, somebody being in my YouTube comments saying like, hey, I appreciate you, thank you for doing this. Or even like, hey, you're not very good at this game, make sure that you do this instead. I think that's just really cool, right? Oftentimes I look at those old videos that I used to make with Dookie, my younger brother, and I think about, and I mentioned it earlier, but I think about where would I have been if I had kept making those videos, right? Would I have been, oh man, I'm dying here. Would I have been the type to have fallen into the world of like, you have to grind, you've got to get out there, you've got to make more content, you got to make more videos? And Neat on the Rocks says in his videos, like, I hate calling it content. I also hate calling it content. I don't make content. I record or stream what's going on. It's not content. It's not a movie or a TV show. It just is, right? Like, it's just something that we do together. It's an opportunity to spend time and get to know people, for you to get to know me, to understand things that I do and don't like, for me to understand things that you do and don't like. And yeah, it's just a good opportunity, I guess, across the board. So, but yeah, I'm thankful for everybody. This is the second time I've recorded this video, and it went a completely different direction than the first time I recorded it, which is good. I think that's important. I'd like to do more of these types of videos, and maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see. I felt so inspired by that video that I had to create one, you know, because I think that's important. It's important to make your mark on the world, no matter how big, small, insignificant you might think it is, because it's just yeah, you never know if by jumping into a Twitch chat that you're helping somebody overcome trauma and grief, right? Which is that's not the way I want to end this video. I don't want to make it seem like I'm sad or depressed or something, but I want to say that I'm thankful. That's it. So that's it. This one's getting a little long in the tooth anyway, so if you liked this, let me know. let me know if this is something you like, and maybe I'll make some more. So, till next time, DG signing off. See ya.